Hey everyone, it's Caitlin from Miller Flowers here in Greenville, Ohio. So today we're talking about hydrangeas, gorgeous shrubs. Just as a note, we are located in Greenville, Ohio. So all of this information is from Zone 5A experience. These are these gorgeous Annabelle hydrangeas. Annabelle is similar to the incredible hydrangeas by Proven Winners. They are a beautiful hydrangea. They are large, gorgeous white blooms. They're actually dry. Their blooms are drying, so we're going into the green stage of these blooms now. So fun fact about hydrangeas, at this stage you can actually cut those blooms, use them in a dried flower arrangement or props a wreath or whatever you would like to do with dried hydrangea blooms. Now is the time to start cutting those and drying them. In this episode, we're going to talk about hydrangeas and their care during the summer. We're also going to try to answer some of the most frequently asked questions on hydrangeas. Why are my hydrangeas not blooming? And what variety of hydrangea am I growing? Step, what variety of hydrangea am I growing? Let's talk about the smooth hydrangeas. Behind me, the Annabelle or the Incredible. Those are a smooth hydrangea. In fact, about the smooth hydrangeas, they actually bloom on new wood. So you want to prune these back in the early spring. And we actually take them down to about 12 inches off the ground. They bush right back up and get really full in the spring. You can also trim your smooth hydrangeas in late winter as well, but we always love the blooms left on for added winter interest for our gardens. Talk about watering our hydrangeas. Watering your hydrangeas is super important. Hydrangeas love water. Here in Ohio, we water our hydrangeas. And with that, we actually take our hose, we put it on soaker, and we soak our hydrangeas about 20 minutes during the hottest parts of the summer. So we do it about once to twice a week, just during the hottest parts of the summer. And that really perks up those hydrangeas and keep them looking fresh all summer long instead of wilty, droopy, and starting to turn brown. You can also use a dripper hose or a soaker hose around the base of your hydrangea plants as well. So that also is an idea if you have an option for that as well. Fertilizing your hydrangeas is also important. So we would recommend finding a fertilizer that's high in phosphorus. That will encourage your hydrangea to keep producing more bloom. So not only do you want green growth, but you also want blooms. And so into fertilizer, that is a bloom booster fertilizer. That is a 10-30-20. That will encourage more blooms from your hydrangeas. Again, you want to make sure that you only are fertilizing during their active growing season and hold off from fertilizing after July. After July, your hydrangeas start going into a dormant period, and you don't want to push new growth or new blooms after that period. Hydrangea bush right here is a panicle hydrangea, and it is a tardiva hydrangea. It's been here for several years. It actually got really pruned back hard 2 years ago, and this bush is huge. This bush right here, any panicle hydrangeas, they bloom on new wood. So similar to your smooth hydrangeas, so this is a bush that you want to prune in late winter to early spring. Again, we prune this in early spring just because we think that the dried blooms adds interest to our winter garden. Next up, this is a big leaf hydrangea. So if you have one of these, this is considered the big leaf variety. Oak leaf and mountain hydrangeas are best pruned immediately after they bloom in the summer, so they flower on old wood. To answer the question, why are my hydrangeas not blooming? There's several factors that play into that answer. One, incorrect pruning. And that's a big one, especially when you're trying to understand all the different varieties of hydrangeas. Knowing what variety you are growing is super important to determining when to prune your hydrangea. Number two, too much nitrogen. Number three, insufficient light. So while hydrangeas do take the shade and do best in some shade, it is some shade, so more part sun instead of full shade where they don't get any sun at all. And so again, hydrangeas do grow the best when they are getting about 4+ hours of sun. There's also probably some more factors that play in why your hydrangeas are not blooming. I would just recommend looking up the particular variety that you are growing to read more about that plant, when to prune, how much fertilizer does it get, and all the necessary information about your hydrangeas. Another question that we got on hydrangeas: why are my blooms drooping? It could be that your hydrangeas are just getting so big that they need support. And so what we do with these hydrangeas is we will add support, like some stakes and some string around the base of our hydrangeas, and that keeps them from falling over. Why are my hydrangeas, why are their blooms turning brown? Lack of water, moisture is at play. Again, hydrangeas love water. You can also add a layer of mulch around your hydrangeas to keep the moisture in. Question that we got asked in terms of why are my hydrangeas turning brown or why are they fading is that hydrangeas will do that over time. Unless you have a re-blooming variety, that means that your hydrangea is done blooming for the season. And so if you are growing a big leaf variety and you are pruning, you can start deadheading those hydrangea blooms. If you are growing like an endless summer or one of the re-blooming varieties, you can trim those off and then they will re-bloom. So another question is, why are my hydrangeas, why do they have small blooms? Again, that goes back to too little of sunlight, insufficient lighting, incorrect fertilizer, which we talked earlier about fertilizing your hydrangeas, incorrect amount of water. Again, back to our discussion on watering your hydrangeas, giving them the water that they need in order to survive. So you all, hydrangeas really are not that much of a diva. They are fairly easy care for the gardener. A lot of gardeners will put them in their landscape because they are so low maintenance. But once you get a rhythm on how to take care of your plant, which is like any other plants, once you learn about your plants and you know how to take care of it, you will have success in the garden. My video on hydrangeas and their care, especially during the summer. If you have any questions or any comments on maybe your hydrangeas and your beds and how they're doing, I would love to hear them in the comments. So you're welcome to drop them there. We hope to see you next time. Have a wonderful day. I'm Caitlin from Miller Flowers. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.